I wish I could leave my skin behind in this old rented room, float my way across the great divide and be buried here. I've been looking far and wide for what I gotta prove, and putting peaks in my rear view. Well, it's colder here than anyone told me the South could get, and I took to staying up real late.
Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today, man, have I got a great video for you. It is about that question of when. When do you make the 2 to 3 wheel transition? And is it for everybody? You know, I'm not going to say that it's for everybody. I think that would be kind of short-sighted, because I have friends, good friends, who are in their 70s who ride two-wheelers, and that's all they, they just solely ride two-wheelers, and they're not interested in the three-wheeled world, not yet, but you know, they're open to it, I believe, from being around me. So when is too old? What does that even mean? Or maybe it's not too old, maybe it's too broken. Or you could be in my situation where you're not that old and you're not that broken yet, but you know, you have other reasons that why you went over to the three-wheel community. So we're going to unpack all of that. So if you're interested, and if there's an inkling of an idea in your mind, if that little ping is in there, that one drop of the possibility, this is a video for you. If you've made the transition, I want you to list the reasons why down below. And it doesn't have to be that you had some sort of physical or aging anomaly. It could be that you just wanted to. All right, well, before we do that, do me a favor, give the video a big old thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff, because it is absolutely critical that we get this message and information out to the people who need it. You know, there are a lot of people who are stuck in this spot. They want to ride, but they're getting to that place. This video could prolong your riding life decades, so don't forget to share it. So the first of 3 things that we're going to talk about is this. The moment it hit me. And when it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I think that's the way it's going to hit you as well. You know, what is that moment, right? Is it that you go out and you put the key in the ignition and you go, it's not worth it anymore? The anxiety of holding up a 700-pound machine with my knees the way they are and the hips the way they are. The low speed turns, the contending with that. The worry of not being seen on the road. The anxiety of all of that. Going on a ride and dealing with surface changes or weather, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I just don't feel confident anymore in that. You know, there is a real fear that people develop as we age. We've talked about this many times on this channel. Getting on a ladder looks different at 60 and 70 than it did at 30 and 40. When you're getting on a ladder now, you're thinking about falling and getting hurt. You're not thinking about the task at hand. And regardless of whether you're in that place or not, don't downplay it if it does happen to you. And don't feel bad if it happens to you. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Now, I'm going to say that none of this happened to me. That is the absolute honest truth. So why did I make the transition? Well, you know, I was going to make a trip to San Diego, California on a motorcycle. And I asked Coach Vic to go with me. And she point blank turned me down. She just told me no. She goes, Bob, I will never get on anything with 2 wheels again, ever in my life. I just won't do it. And I asked her why. And, you know, she's paralyzed. She's a T7 paraplegic. And this was her answer. You know what? When I was young, I didn't think about the motorcycle falling. I didn't think about the weather. I didn't think about what the road was like, or the fear associated with it, or the damage the carnage it could cause to my body just from a low speed fall over. But I'm paralyzed, and if a 700 to 1,000 pound motorcycle falls on my legs, there's nothing I can do but lay there. I can't feel it. I don't know if anything's broken. I don't know if anything's damaged. And I could end up being an amputee as a result of something like that. And I really don't want to borrow any trouble, Bob. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I don't feel confident when the motorcycle leans over. I don't feel confident when we're at low speeds. I don't like the insecurity of it being on a kickstand. I feel like it's going to fall over on me, and I don't like it, and I'm not going to do it anymore. So if you want me to go with you, you cannot do it on a 2-wheeler, and that's just all there is to it. You know, the gut reaction in here was like, well, heck, I guess she doesn't have to go. You know, that's a terrible thing to say, but there was a part of me that felt that way. And as I contemplated this, I realized, you know what? She's not being confrontational or argumentative. What she is she's being vulnerable. She's telling me her actual fears, and that her life has changed. And that although maybe her abilities haven't changed, her mindsets and her fears and anxieties have changed. And so therefore, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go out and buy a three-wheeler. We looked at the tri-glides, seriously looked at them, and we decided on the Spyder. There were a litany of reasons, and there's a ton of videos back there to tell you why. But suffice it to say, the Spyder was the perfect solution for us. Everything, the trailer hitch, the trailer that Can-Am made, the fact that it didn't have two wheels in the back, so I had easier access to get her on and off of it, the steering capabilities, the braking. There were just a litany of reasons why we went with the Can-Am. And then there was obviously the price was a massive thing too. When we listed everything out and we said the Can-Am's a better fit and it's $20,000 less, well, that really wasn't very hard. That was our epiphany. So where are you? Are you in that place? Are you thinking about that and you're going, man, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I don't want. But I know this, I'm tired of it, and I'm tired of being afraid of it, and I'm tired of being nervous about it. I know that much. Well, if you're there, if your mindset is at that place and you're like, man, where do I go from here? Well, I'm going to tell you where you are. You're at a kickstand crossroads. That's what I called it back then. I'm at a kickstand crossroads. I'm not sure what to do. If I go this way, I define myself this. If I go that way, I define myself as that. What am I? And does it matter? And how important is this in the grand scheme of things? Do I really want to do this? Well, if you are at the kickstand crossroads, the first thing you need to do is you need to go out there and discover something. You need to discover the Can-Am Spyder. You just need to. Or the Can-Am Canyon. Or the Can-Am Riker. Or the Harley Tri-Glide. Now, the reason I mentioned the Can-Ams is because that's what I ride. There are tons of other three-wheeled solutions out there, and I implore you to look at them all. Make a conscientious decision with what you want out of your riding life. But discover the Spyder, because it really is quite a magical machine. I mean, I could go off for an hour on why the thing is so amazing. And there are those who will differ with me. They'll go, it's a Miata with only one back wheel. It's a car. It's this, it's that. You know, I'll only ride two wheels. I'll get those comments, and I'm okay with them because I was there. I understand. But what you're going to discover when you get on something like this, the first thing that's absolutely obvious to you, stop sign. I got a stop sign. Stop, Coach Bob, you idiot. You are crazy. You ran through that stop sign. Don't you dare edit that out, because I'll have to call my mommy and tell her on you. Look at that. I came to a complete stop there, fellas. Look at that. Was that beautiful? All right, now we can continue. Stop, stop, stop. Oh my gosh, you better slam on brakes. Oh my goodness. Oh, whew, man, that was scary. That was dangerous. I almost didn't come to a complete stop. I'm glad somebody told me. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing, man? You better, you see us written on the road too and on the sign. You better stop. So what you're going to discover is that you're going to experience freedom again. What it felt like at the beginning when you got on a motorcycle for the first time and you were like, man, this is amazing. I can just ride, and there's no anxiety, there's no fear of tipping or falling. You're in a low-speed parking lot surrounded by gravel, and you're like, how can I even put my kickstand down? The darn thing's gonna fall over. If it rains, I'm looking for a beer can so I can crush it and put it up under my kickstand. You know what I'm talking about, two-wheel guys. That's what we do, because we have to constantly think about those things. On this, you don't. You pull up into a parking lot, you hit the parking brake, you turn the darn thing off. And then you got to look at the hill that you're parked on. Well, you know, my motorcycle's heavy as a son of a gun. I got to push this thing backwards up a hill out of this parking space. And this, I just pop it in reverse. I even got a backup camera so I can watch you struggle. So am I telling you not to ride a two-wheeler? I'm not. I'm just telling you that those things go away. They're not there anymore. When you're on a road and you're going from a smooth surface to a rough surface or a slick surface, there's no anxiety. I can tell you, I've been on my Harley in the last 3 months. When I crossed a solid line and it had been raining, it was darn crazy scary. I mean, it was like, it wasn't fun, man. It was pouring down rain. I'm like, I'm going to end up slipping and sliding down the concrete. That doesn't sound as appealing as it used to, y'all. I mean, not that it ever sounded that great, but it's a lot less appealing now than it was. You know, as a Southern boy, my life was very beautiful and simple. When my mom cooked boiled peanuts in a pressure cooker. Yep, in a pressure cooker. And I remember this little thing on top of it, like, right? She would take that thing off, or she would press it down and let all the steam come out of it. And it's like it was instant. The pressure was off the pot. And then you could open it again without it exploding. Well, the first time you ride something like this, that's what it's like. It's like a complete relief. It makes no sense. You didn't realize it. It's like there was a stress that was there that you were even unaware it was there because it had been there so long. And so when you get on something like this and all of a sudden you get that instant relief, you enjoy the ride way, way more. It's really hard to quantify, but just believe me that you need to get out and go to a three-wheel day at a Can-Am dealer, or just go for a ride on one. Borrow one from a friend. Heck, if you see me at a motorcycle rally, come to me. I'll let you ride mine. You know, I'm not afraid to let you ride it. Now, this machine belongs to BRP. I may have you sign a little release form. That way I don't get, you know, hammered by the company or whatever. But I'll let you ride this one. You can ride this one. I want you to ride. I want you to experience it. It's about the fun. It's about enjoying it again. You know, the objective here is simply to put the joy and the safety and security back in your riding. All three of those things. Because one without the others is kind of pointless. If you're happy, but you feel unsafe and unsecure, it's not good. You want to feel safe. You want to feel confident and secure, and you want to be happy. This puts you in the wind, and it does it in a safe way as we get more fragile, broken, and as we age. And we don't have to be that. I want to reiterate that, because as you can see, I go out every day and I have motorcycles all in my garage. I've got a Harley Heritage, I've got my other Spyder, I've got a Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro, I've got a 1984 BMW R65. So I've got plenty of things to ride, but I always go to this. I don't have to go to this. BRP doesn't require me to put a key in this and ride it every week. I do this because this is what I want to ride. And I can ride anything I want to. And right now, as far as physical fitness, I'm approaching a pinnacle in my life. So we'll just leave that one there. So there's way more to it than just being broken and aging. But if you are in that place, it doesn't mean you have to stop. That's the main point. You don't have to quit riding. We had the first one, the Awakening, right? And then we had the second one, the Kickstand Chronicles. So what's point number 3? So the third thing is something you're going to have to adopt. It's something that's really important for you to truly savor the experience. It's a new worldview. You're going to have to just simply have a new worldview. You're going to have to see riding just a little different. And I think that when you do that, and you open your eyes and open your heart a little more, you're going to find that really, really enlightening, and you're going to find it liberating, unbelievably. You're going to quit worrying about what everyone else thinks. You don't have to wear the exact jacket. You don't have to wear the matching helmet and gloves. You can just ride. All of the you know, and I'm reticent to say some of this because I fall into this trap. I do it. I'll call it the posing, right? The fact that, like, if I'm riding my Harley, I've got to have on all Harley gear, y'all. I have to. It's part of the game. And so all of those things just evaporate. It puts the simplicity back in riding, and that is something that's magnificent. Look at them cows taking a nap over there. You know, another thing that the Spyder allows you to do is ride farther. You know, So many times when we're riding on motorcycles, just generally speaking, it's bad enough. Like right now, it's showing 86. I'm in the shade right now. When I was in the sun, it showed 96. The heat index right now in Tallahassee, where I am, is 108 degrees. It's hot. It's hot. I'm wearing gloves, a flannel, a helmet, long pants, and high tops to cover the old ankle bones to keep them from being ground off. So, you know, there's all of that. So not only are you wearing all this stuff, and it's abysmally hot. You know, overcoming the heat is somewhat difficult to a general extent, but, you know, the reality is that you can take some of the complication out of it, right? You can take some of the work out of it. So you're not dealing with body fatigue, you're dealing with the elements. Before, you were dealing with body fatigue and emotional, intellectual fatigue, constantly, you know, reacting to things that you don't even realize you're reacting to, and it makes your body tired. And I applaud the guys who are certainly older and are able to do that. I mean, it's amazing what people do. I mean, I've got friends who are, in, like I said, literally in their 80s, and they're riding big old Harleys. One's riding a Road King, and I mean, he'll do, I'd say his max right now is 300-mile day, but that's a big day, man. You're in your 80s, are you kidding me? And he's exhausted, man. When we get to where we're going, he's nodding off over the sandwich, I'm gonna tell you that. Would it be better if he was on the Spyder? I think it would. He thinks it would. He's just not ready to make that transition yet. And that's good. I'm glad. I want him to do what he wants to do because that's important. Man, I've been seeing so many trees on houses. It's crazy, y'all. It is just crazy. So what else can you do other than have that new world view, and within that you see the world differently, you see riding differently. All of a sudden, you know, you're able to go farther. Well, what that does is when you're able to go a little farther and you're able to ride a little longer, then it gives you a confidence, and that confidence is very, very important. You know, there's nothing worse, and I've experienced this over the last couple of years. You know, that little heart thing go on. It was kind of scary. I mean, if I'd have waited a couple of more days, I wouldn't be here, y'all. I mean, it's just the long and the short of it. But as I re-entered my life after that, all of a sudden I would feel little flutters in my chest, and I'm like, what is that? What is that? Is it happening again? Am I going to die? There was this constant fear that was going on, and the anxiety that was there. We may not realize the anxiety is there robbing our joy, but it can be. Now with me, it was more than, you know, obvious that I was going through it. But I learned that through changing my lifestyle, getting more fit, losing weight, doing all of these exercises, I learned that my heart's a muscle and I can work on it. And my cardiologist, when he saw me, he goes, Bob, you're literally a different man. You don't look the same, you don't talk the same. You are, whatever you're doing, do not stop. Your echo looks better now than it did a year and a half ago. Don't stop what you're doing. So I want to tell you that you can overcome those fears and you can work yourself through it. But this is a simple solution to help extinguish some of those fears for you. And that's an amazing, amazing thing. And another worldview that you need to have is that you're not too old. You're not too broken. If you think you are, you're not. Just like my heart was strong enough to be rebuilt. You're not too old. You can get on something like this and you can ride and you can experience the same joy, the same freedom, the same fun that I do. And that's a big deal. Riding a motorcycle is an amazing thing, and this simplifies that. That's what it does. There's no clutch. It's a thumb shift. You know, there's no front brake. It's linked braking with big Brimbos, and the darn thing stops unbelievably well. It's got a big platform up front. You can see it. Man, you can ride a long, long time, and that should be a new world view for you. You don't have to, don't give up. Don't give in. All right, I was going to start ranting and raving, but you know, I had a buddy of mine the other day ride this thing for the first time. We were doing a photo shoot with BRP, and he rode this for the first time in the woods, or on not really in the woods, but on dirt roads and stuff. And he was like, man, this thing is like riding on a cloud. He goes, you know, I thought about it, you know, because he rides an adventure bike. And he was like, I'm not going to do that. But he's loving this thing. He's wanting one now after riding it. He was like, you know, I remember watching the Star Wars movies, and those guys were riding across the desert, and those little things that floated, they look like they look kind of like this, but with no wheels on it. They were just floating through the air. Because that's how it felt to me. It was wonderful. He goes, I worry that maybe I'm not going to pay close enough attention because I can enjoy the ride so much. I'm like, you'll pay attention, brother. That's built into you. But the idea that you can enjoy the ride that much, that's the magic. That's where the magic is, y'all. And before I share the last thing, I want you to do me a favor. Give the video a big old thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, because I want to encourage riders out there to ride for as long as they can. I've kind of touched on this already, but we're going to hammer it right here with this simple statement. Don't give up, and don't let the world define what you have to ride to be cool. You are cool. You know, I remember the movie, you know, Be Cool, you know, with John Travolta. Great movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it, you need to go see it.
Be cool. Be cool. I am cool. Is that your car? Cadillac of hybrids. But what about speed? If you're important, people will wait.
It was a great movie. And I'm going to tell you that the world will tell you you're not enough. The world will tell you that you don't deserve to be at bike night. The world will tell you that you don't belong on Main Street. You know, but you do. You do. You're a rider, just like they are. You belong. You fit in. And if they don't like it, that's tough. You know what? Then we put the rebel back into riding. That's the way I look at it. And that's how this whole thing kind of started anyway, isn't it? That all these guys wanted to be rebellious and wild. Well, you know what? Now they're going, oh, you don't fit in. You're not one of us, right? That's the old saying I talk about with my kids. Oh, you want to be different just like everybody else? No, 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 no. You know what? I'm not going to be different just like you. I'm going to be different. I'm actually going to be different. I'm going to actually do what I want to do. I'm going to extend my riding life, and I'm going to have fun. And if you don't like that, well, then ride with somebody else, bro. It's okay. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to argue with you. It's okay. You can say what you want. You can call me names. You can make fun of the motorcycle. You do whatever you want to do. But you're not going to define me. You're not. When I ride my Harley, I ride my Harley. When I ride this, I ride this. I ride what I want to. And if people don't like it, I do not allow them to define me. Don't allow the world to define you. Don't give up. You are cool enough. You are enough. You can ride. So that's the main point of all of this. And this is a tool. Heck no, it's more than a tool. It's a weapon. It breaks down barriers so that you can extend your riding life for literally decades. And that's pretty darn cool. Man, what a freaking great topic, man. I've talked to my buddy Ken this week about all of this, and we have just run through all of these points as we've discussed what riding is as we were filming it with this camera crew. It was an amazing experience. You know, I can't really say a whole lot about it other than they'll have like a little campaign, I think, towards the end of the year on their social media sites, and you might get to see me on there, which will be kind of nice. It'll be fun. All right. Well, there you have it. Another one is in the books. I want you to do me a favor. You, yes, you, go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams. Eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are most definitely doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I'll see you on the road real soon. And there ain't no telling what I'm going to be riding, and there ain't no telling what you're going to be riding, but I'm going to love you no matter what.
I've been looking far and wide for what I gotta prove, and putting peaks in my rear view.